Behold, a sea of level 100 armored enemies. But I, Banshee, have no care for their armor scaling because, boom! It's all gone. All of it. In an instant. This is God Hand Banshee. A glorious armor stripper. God Hand Banshee does not care for such things as endgame armor scaling, or keeping the enemies on the map. God Hand Banshee's signature technique is her modified Sonic Boom attack, which will remove all armor from any enemies it touches in a much larger radius than would be indicated by these sparks. The signature mod of the God Hand is Sonic Fracture. If you're familiar with Ash's augment for his shuriken that allows you to remove armor from enemies you hit, this works exactly the same way, same amount of armor, same duration. And if you're familiar with that augment, you know that this augment's armor reduction and duration are both affected by power strength, which means that with 145% power strength, we will remove all armor from any enemies hit by Sonic Boom. However, unlike Ash's shuriken, Sonic Boom is not an ability that targets a single enemy. It simply has a power range cone, so with nearly max power range, we can remove armor from basically all enemies within sight in front of us, although do note that this requires line of sight. Affected enemies are also violently thrown backwards, which can be useful if you don't want to fight them at all. Simply push them over and over again until they die. Beautiful. When engaging enemies, you can use your 3 to briefly stagger enemies that get close to you, giving you time to perform your Sonic Boom. And if you somehow don't kill them quickly enough, you can also use your sonar to repeatedly stack vulnerability points on them to kill them insanely fast. As you can see, this build is not set up for Soundquake, but because we have okay duration and okay strength, it will be alright. You'll cover a large area due to the range, but it will cost a lot of energy, and I overall do not recommend using Soundquake with this build. I'll show you a Soundquake build at the end if you would like one. So we know that enemies will not have any armor at our will, so what weapons will be used to decimate their forces? Ah, the Soma Prime. This is a modified Soma Prime build that focuses on damage to unarmored enemies only. As you are surely aware, the Soma Prime does mostly slash damage, which is excellent against bare unarmored flesh, and I have modified it to deal viral and heat damage. Slash viral and heat is the absolute maximum highest damage spread against unarmored targets, and with a glorious 6.6 times critical multiplier and high crit chance, you will do absolutely phenomenal damage, able to easily mow down entire squads. And because the Soma Prime has its signature, a massive ammo magazine, you will have enough ammo to kill them all. Note that normally, I would enjoy using Argon Scope on this weapon because it is adequately accurate. However, when you Sonic Boom Hand of God enemies, they will be on the ground, so it will be very difficult to hit them in the head. I've replaced it with bladed rounds for that reason. But of course, you're not always going to want to have to strip enemy armor, and the Euphona Prime is here to help. This weapon is very complicated, and if you need a primer on exactly how this weapon functions, then I recommend that you watch the following video which I've prepared in advance. Check out the suggested video above or look in the top of the description to check out a whole video that explains how the Euphona Prime works, because it's actually really complicated and contrived. Suffice to say, this build does a lot of damage, and I will briefly explain why, but you should go watch that video if you want a full explanation. It builds for the secondary fire of the Euphona Prime. This build will allow you to kill enemies even if you do not want to armor strip them in a fairly timely manner, with its absolutely insane bleed stacking. Enemies will be destroyed in a single magazine, guaranteed. Lighter enemies stand even less of a chance. A lot of people probably don't have maim, and it is perfectly fine to substitute an element. I would recommend either Toxin or Cold to make sure you get most viral damage and always get a viral proc. But Seeker is also good, particularly good if you are Nova and you want to charge multiple antimatter drops in one shot. But for this build's purposes, I'd recommend just getting as much damage as possible. You will stack crazy bleeds and annihilate your enemies. Another decent choice is Quick Draw. Beautiful. Now, what about the melee weapon? Well, sometimes, after you knock some chump over with your Sonic Boom, you just want to, give him the bad mouth. Oh, delicious. No, use whatever melee weapon you want. Remember that when enemies enter your silence aura, they will be briefly vulnerable to finishers, so feel free to choose a weapon with a cool-looking finisher animation. Perfect. Do not be afraid, they can smell fear. Peacefully and gracefully sneak up to them for the kill. Lastly, no Banshee would be equipped without a Sniper Scarf, a gift from God, a powerful sentinel. The Sniper Scarf will protect you while you are executing your glorious armor stripping and enemy destroying. The Sniper Scarf has a precept called Fatal Attraction, which will hypnotize enemies that get close to you. I said before that you can gain a brief window of opportunity to use your abilities by using your Silence Aura. As you see, they will get staggered, and then you will be in range for your Sniper Scarf to hypnotize them, causing them to walk toward you harmlessly, unless they are too far away. You can then mow them down after sonic booming their armor off at your leisure. Otherwise, the Sniper Scarf will top off your health and provide a protective dome when you are reviving allies. Do note that Sanctuary is affected by calculated redirection, so you actually get a much larger shield than 500. This Sentinel will protect you and help you to get some time to set up when you are fighting a group of enemies. It also has excellent range with its Sentinel's Sniper Rifle. Behold, this is basically just a normal crit weapon. It is reminiscent of the Lanka, so build it as such. As you see, I've just built it for heat and corrosive. You could go for a gas build like the gas Lanka, although that would be rather inconsistent, and I have a glorious Riven mod right here. Note that zoom % increases the target acquisition range for Sentinel weapons, so this makes it have even longer range. This weapon is not hit scan and does not shoot very often, so it is just a little supplement. Occasionally it will pick off an annoying enemy that you did not notice. Okay, or it'll just kill enemies outright for you. There you have it. God Hand Banshee can destroy enemy armor effortlessly and carry your unorganized noob team to victory under any circumstances. Now, some finishing remarks. Fashion frame for this loadout and my Sniper Scarf will be featured at the end of the week on Fashion Frame Fridays, as usual, so stick around for that if you would like. And, as promised, I will also be showing a Soundquake build to convince you all that Banshee Prime is actually very useful. Here's my Soundquake build. One of the most important things about having a Soundquake build is Resonating Quake. This makes your Soundquake get larger and deal more damage over time. It says the energy cost increases by 1 every second, but that is affected by power efficiency, so it's actually only 0.25 energy per second. It is almost impossible to notice. When you cast your Soundquake, it will propagate through the environment rapidly at first, and then more slowly as its circumference expands. The radius increases will not make as much of a difference in the visual indication of how far it's going. But you can jump into an Exterminate and plop your hands on the ground to wipe out entire rooms. You need to know where the enemies are. The Soundquake will find them and kill them for you. As you can see, from huge range, you can wipe out entire rooms full of enemies, as far as the eye can see, and quite a bit further. This ability does not require line of sight. Now I'm sure you might be wondering, Sandy Pants, that seems very powerful as well. Why did you not make a Resonating Quake Soundquake build instead of the build that you've just shown us? Soundquake takes 2 hands. Not powerful enough. Too much effort. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed, and once again, if you need the Fashion Frame, come back for Fashion Frame Fridays. Goodbye, and good luck.